see if this is function, because other day I try and don't was function, don't was record, and I talk, 30 minutes, don't was video. I talking for me only. Now I never see. And I still don't have certain. Yes, this is recording. Continuing the universal creation. Then we are here in chapter 6 about, let me see, about uranography. Space and time, matter, law enforces the first creation. I will read now. The universal creation, suns and planets, moons, comets, the Milky Way, the fixed stars. I never saw Milky Way, but other day with app I saw where are the Milky Way. Is exactly up on this building, back on this building, because this I never saw this. The fixed stars, the deserts of space. Do you know that are desert of space? Of space, the eternal succession of worlds, eternal, universal life, the diversity of worlds. This chapter, it will be so good if an astronaut would have interest in. Let's read this. This is a great chapter to an astronaut that had open mind, of course. Then come on in the test today. Laws and forces was the last. And still my understanding are wrong. I'm reading by the original font. Not original. Original is in French. In English is a good. I read good introductions in English. More, so better than in Portuguese. So better. With more information about Kardec. I give this counsel to you. See the introduction in books in English are so much make this. The first creation, the universal creation. After having gone back, human limitations, notwithstanding to the hiding found, from which words there are like drops of water flowing from a river. Let us consider the progression of the successive creations, and their serial developments. notwithstanding to the hiding fount from which worlds derive like drops of water flowing from a river. See this comparison. Let us consider the progression of the successive creation and their serial developments. God is abundance. Don't have other word. The primitive cosmic matter contained the material fluid and vital elements for all the universes that unroll their magnificence before eternity. It's the fertile mother of all things, the first grandmother, and what is more, the eternal generatrix. This substance from which all the sidereal globes have come has not disappeared. This power is not dead, for it still gives birth incessantly a new creations, and receives incessantly the reconstituted elements of the worlds that have been effaced from the book of eternity. This, remember, being in profound and deep ocean. I forgot the name because it's so complicated. But in Portuguese is living water. And this is an element that are eternal because they never dead. When each element arrive in his ultimate forces to live, and this will that this element absorb his tentacles and start to renew and start to be again a baby. Then is this, they never dead, only with another predator of this living water. It's so a bit element. This have a bit size, and he is capable to resurge. It's a resurrection, literal resurrection, because his body transformed again in a new. And I ask you, if God give this to a being that don't have blood, don't have brace organisms, don't have mind, mind no, what this brain don't have this, and is capable, not that I think have all these things that we have. Don't let us survive for much time. How eternal with this body? No, this body no. But your soul, I am eternal. You are eternal, cause we don't can turn it renew our body for our efforts. No, and this bit organism God get it, and this named in Portuguese eternal living water until a predator will make this his food. Contrary, this element don't will that. Never. And have so much this living water in oceans. Cause this, it's the I stopped to say this cause here they are talking that incessant creation. God produce incessant creation without stop, never. Eternal creation. And worlds will disappear, but God never will stop to create. And how I was thinking, if God gave this to a bit, sir, or to a bit being, what God don't will give to with his body to us, because we don't have notion of 90% of our mind capacity. But when we have this, if God did this to bit being for us, they gave to us co-participation in creation. Is this? Never will arrive to be a God. Forget this. But for other creatures, yes, we will see how a God. But never we will be God. Because God is one only. And because this whole universe have unifying of loss, of development, and all planets in circular movements, never shock at each other, is the balance of universe by God. And continue here. The eternal matter harified to various degrees, and which is diffused throughout interplanetary space. That cosmic fluid that fills the universe, harified to various degrees in the immense regions, rich in clusters of stars. Condensed to various degrees where the stellar sky doesn't yet shine, modified to various degrees by different combinations according to their locations in the span, is nothing more than the primitive substance in which reside the universal forces from which nature has taken all things. This fluid penetrates bodies like an immense ocean. In it resides, I don't know, the vital principle that gives rise to the life of beings and perpetuates it on each globe according to its condition. Then all creations of God have degrees. And it starts how a baby. All creations. In other chapter, Kardec or Galileo mentioned this. The universe have logic in his creation, and all things start how a baby. It's not baby they use, but it's this. All things have a principle and degrees of development, ever this way. The it resides the vital principle that gives rise to the life of beings and perpetuates it on each globe according to its condition. A principle which in its latent state lies dormant as long as no voice call upon it. By virtue of this universal vital principle, universal vital principle is all this body, all these illusionary things are come this universal vital principle. Every creature, mineral, plant, animal, or other, because there are many other kingdoms of nature, many other we don't know. Every creature, mineral, plants, animal, or other, because there are many other kingdoms of nature whose existence you don't not even suspect. Have things that we don't know, more things. If we are in a stage of development so down, we are passing to another level of this planet, in level of regeneration and let me remember the word. Um, in past, we are, for various centuries, a planet from proofs and expiations. Still, we are seeing people passing by this. Um, Proofs and expiations. Proof is when people can choose. Expiations, no. Expiations, people can choose this or that, will meet the same problem. They don't go out of the problem. This is expiation. And proofs is when you are in front of a problem and you must choose. This will be measured in you what level of development you have to repose you in a better place or in a bad place to you continue learning. In two places, in a better place or bad place, you will continue, of course. But if you don't, if you still are committing the same errors, how in a school, you will be in the same place until you can level to pass to another phase of your development. God searched to his creatures conditions to grow. God is growing. God is prosperity. God is happiness. God is diversity. God is justice. God is love. Wisdom in the maximum manifestation that we don't can understand. don't have fail in God. God don't create nothing that cause um, not a good star, not a good billion. God don't create this. This is problems that human beings are taking life by life because he is revolt against God. Error to don't accept a strong force, so much strong than his own strong. All this will make this person, this soul, make bad choices, cause revolt. Non-acceptation is the same. Revolt, suffering, and the principle, don't give grace to all things we have. When we are unsatisfied and don't try to understand that all things come to our good, to our learn, to our development. When people don't can see or accept this, is represent that the future choice will be probably wrong. Because the people, he tired the wisdom of your mind, he tired the good sense to choose good and start to choose things that will return to him or her so bad. And more revolt this soul will feel. And it starts to coming to a home when we are against the creator, the creator, the creator, not creature. Creature are not, are we are, but the creature we are and have the creator of us. When you don't accept your creator, our Father, people start to come, hold on, and God will be there waiting. The song, how is the name? The prodigal son, and this son will return by hands of God in the right, but it would take so much centuries. It depends of revolted person. The problem of creature, the pain of the creature, is linked with his degree of ignorance. And is still ignorant, the spirit can abide from the creator. Is a choose spirit make. Or he or her accept the creator or revolted and gone alone, broken his face, broken his body, entire body. Then it's not so good. And then we must learn, give grace. The good commemoration I admire in the United States is this: a day to give grace. And we must give grace all day. We only have Only motives more than say no. We have so much motives. Yes, thank you, God. I accept. I understand. I give grace to you. Because all things pass. Okay? Chico Xavier ever say this, ever said, but continue saying in heaven. All these things pass. Why not accept when we don't can choose, can modify this? We must try modify to better the things. But when we don't can, only we can make two things: are revolted and don't accept and suffering much more, or we accept what we don't have conditions to modify and try to learn this lesson, because this is a lesson in our faith. To we understand in what points we must be better. Is only this. If we realize don't have bad things, only have lessons in life. In it resides the vital principle that gives rise to the life of beings and perpetuates it on each globe according to its conditions of principle, which in its latent state lies dormant as long as no voice calls upon it. By virtue of this universal vital principle, every creature, mineral, plant, animal, or other, because there are many other kingdoms of nature whose existence you don't even suspect, knows how to appropriate the conditions for its existence and lifespan. Molecules have their portion of this life too. Just like the seed and the embryo, and like in the organism, they group together in symmetrical figures that constitute individuality. Here have a note. If one were to ask what the beginning of these forces was and how such beginning could be in the very substance that produced it, we would respond that mechanics offers numerous examples. Is not elasticity, which enables a spring to be stretched in the spring itself, and does it not depend on the way the molecules are arranged? I think they are talking about um, I forgot the name. Bodies that obey the centrifugal force receive their impulse from the first movement exerted on them. This note is from Kardec. Mineral molecules have their portion of this life too, just like the seed and the embryo, and like in the organism, they group together in symmetrical figures that constitute individualities. It's very important to be aware of the idea that the primitive cosmic matter is endowed not only with the laws that ensure the stability of the world, but also with the universal vital principle that forms the spontaneous generations on each world to the extent that conditions manifest for the successive existence of beings. And when the hour sounds for the appearing of the children of light during the creation period. This is how the universal creation has been accomplished. Hence, it's correct to say that since the workings of nature are the expression of divine will, God has always created, continues to create, and will create forever. I don't can imagine this. Up to this point, we have remained silent about the spirit world. Up to this point, we have remained silent about the spiritual world, which is also a part of creation and fulfills its destiny according to the august prescriptions of the Lord. Concerning the way in which spirits are created, I can provide only a very restricted teaching due to my own ignorance. And moreover, I must keep silent regarding certain issues, although I myself have been able to delve into them. To those who are previously desirous to understand and who are humble before God, I will say, begin then not to base any premature theory on my words. The Spirit doesn't receive divine illumination, which gives it along with free will and consciousness, the awareness of its higher destiny without having passed through the divinely unavoidable series of lower beings, among which the labor of its individualization is slowly worked out. It's only from the day when the Lord imprints on its brow his august seal that the Spirit takes its place in the ranks of humankind. But I think I am reading other things that the universal creation is not this to me read. This is for another. The first creation. After we have considered the universe from the general points of view concerning its compositions, laws, and properties, we can extend our study to the mode of formation that has given birth to the worlds and beings. Let us go back at this time to the creation of the earth, in particular in its current state, in the universality of things, and from there, taking it as a starting point and relative unity, we will proceed to our planetary and sidereal studies. Let me see if this I read too. I don't remember. Laws and forces. I read this. Is this the next? The first creation. If we have highly understood the relationship, or rather the opposition between eternity and time, if we have familiarized ourselves with the idea that time is only a relative measure of the succession of transitory things, whereas eternity is essentially one, immovable, permanent, and unsusceptible to any measurement from the point of view of duration, we will realize that eternally, for eternity, there is neither beginning nor end. On the other hand, if we get an exact idea, although necessarily very weak, of the infinitude of divine power, we will understand how it's possible that the universe always has been and always will be. Ever since God has existed, his eternal perfection have also existed and have been articulated. Before time was born, incommensurable eternity received the divine word and impregnated space eternal as the divine word itself. God, by his nature, having existed from all eternity, has created from all eternity, and it could not have been any other way. If such were not the case, no matter how far back in time we go through our imagination to the supposed limits of creation, there would always remain beyond those limits an eternity. Ponder this thought well, an eternity during which the divine hypostasis, oh no, divine hypostasis, the infinitive volitions, and eternity during which the divine hypostasis, the infinite volitions, would have been entombed in inactive and infertile mud lethargy and eternity of sinning death for the eternal Father, who gives life of to beings, of an indifferent muteness for the word that governs them, and of a cold and selfish sterility for the spirit of love and unification. Let us grasp more fully and grandeur of the divine action and its perpetuity at the hand of the absolute being. God is the sun of his creatures. He is the light of the world. Now, the appearing of the sun instantly gives birth to the waves of light that spread everywhere throughout the expanse of space. And in the same way, the universe born from the eternal dates back to unimaginable periods of infinite duration to the fiat lux of the beginning. The absolute beginning of things thus goes back to God. Their successive appearances in the realm of existence comprise the order of ongoing creation. What mortal could tell of the unknown and superbly veiled glories under the night of the ages, glories that developed during those ancient times when none of the marvels of the current universe existed? In that primitive epoch, when the voice of the Lord, having made itself heard, the materials that in the future would be arranged symmetrically and by themselves to form the temple of nature suddenly encountered one another in the bosom of the infinite void. In the moment when the sound of that mysterious voice, which each creature worships and cherishes as that of um, mothers harmoniously varied notes were produced to vibrate together and modulate the concert of the vast heavens. The world in its cradle was not yet established in its virility and fullness of life. No, the creative power never contradicts itself, and like all things, the universe was born as an infant. Is this? The universe was born as an infant, endowed with the above referenced laws and the initial impulse inherent to its formations. The primitive cosmic matter gives birth successively to vortices, agglomerations of that diffuse fluid, and accumulations of nebulous matter that were divided and modified ad infinitum to generate diverse centers of simultaneous or successive creations in the incommensurable region of the space. Due to the force that predominated over one of the other, and due to the ulterior circumstance that presided over their development, these primitive centers became the focal points of a special life. Some points less disseminated in space and richer in principles and active energies began their individual stellar life at the time others occupying an unlimited space grew with extreme slowness or divided anew into other secondary centers. Transporting ourselves back only a few million centuries before the current epoch, our Earth did not yet exist, nor had our solar system yet begun the evolutions of planetary life. Nevertheless, the splendid suns already illuminated the other inhabited planets, already gave life and existence to a multitude of beings that preceded us in the human course. Under the gaze of other eyes, opulent productions of an unknown nature and marvelous phenomena of the heavens comprised the scenes of an immense creation. What am I saying? Already splendors that used to make the hearts of other mortals beat under the dot of the infinite power were no more. And we poor teeny beings who have come after an eternity of life believe ourselves to be contemporaneous with creation. Once more, let us comprehend nature more fully. Let us realize that eternity lies before us as well as after us, that space is the theater of an imaginable sequence and simultaneity of creations. Those nebula, which we can barely make out, in the farthest reaches of space and clusters of suns in the process of formation, those others are galaxies of inhabited worlds, and still others are the sites of catastrophes of decline. Let us be aware that just as we are placed in the midst of an infinite of worlds, we are also in the midst of a twofold infinite of previous and subsequent duration, that in universal creation is not restricted to us, and that we cannot apply that world restricted in parentheses to the isolated formation of our teeny tiny globe. It's a tiny globe. We must understand our beat, our size to can learn more. learn, learn, and live more. Then is finished the chapter. The next is the universal creation. This was the chapter about laws and force. No, the first creation. The first creation. What so pretentious to understand the first creation. But all creations of God have start with with a baby, a child. All the creations of God is this way. And go developing step by step, step by step, step by step. What's this that I want to pass to you? See how much logic and science in the words of Kardec. Is not a man that was in this work to make a gain. No. They dedicate his life, your wife too, Amélie Boudet, and they dedicate his lives to put this to the world. Remembering Spiritism don't have place in the world. It's not from French, it's not from Brazil, it's not from Asia. It's a reunion of spirits for all nations, but a spirit that came to us by permission of God, using a scientific man, a man that gave classes from physics, chemistry, and biology, and mathematics. Is this the man's spirituality? Search to mold, to show this work to humanity. Don't have honor this work. Is a group, enormous group of spirits with permission of God, and gave us those values. Treasure is a treasure of information. And I hope you have a good night, a good final weekend. And remember, out of charity don't have salvation. And uh, inab, 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 I don't know this. Enable faith, unshakable faith, unshakable faith is what you can see the various process and times in humanity without left don't have faith. Only explanations how this can give to us unshake faith, unshakable faith. Unshakable faith is one that can face to face all epochs of humanity with logic and balance without lose the faith. Is this? I will see this sentence. Let me see now the sentence in English. I know the sentence only in Portuguese. To pass to English is different. Unshakable faith is the one that faces face to face all the years of humanity without lose this faith. When we have knowledge, deeply knowledge, it's more easy. Get this unshakable faith. Have a great final of week, a good weekend to you, and with peace and balance until the next. Thank you, your presence.